JT, for Cam Rising this past week, he was banged up immediately in this game. He was banged up the weeks prior, before that, where he didn't play. And then when he didn't play, you lose to Arizona with Isaac Wilson at quarterback, who at times did enough to win, was a good game manager, at other times was turnover prone. And I'm not sure, like, his sample size is too small to give the entire judgment of the season on Isaac Wilson. What I'm getting at, do you bench Cam Rising? Do you just make a decision at some point, like Oklahoma State might do this week? We've got to move on and go somewhere else.
Cam Rising gives this Utah team the best chance to win when he is healthy. Therefore, I would not bench him when he is healthy. But this is also, like every position, it's based on how they are playing. You make the call whether to continue to play them or to pull them out of the game. Utah, for some just stupid reason, decided not only are we going to leave Cam in the game when he's clearly not right, but the very two following drives after he was hurt, the first down play was a throw. And it wasn't even close. He was sailing into the ground or over someone's head, or, I mean, eventually it was picked off too, of course. So it was maddening to me why they continued to put Cam Rising out there when he was clearly not right. He could not throw. Part of Cam's game is his ability to scramble, too. I mean, look at the play when Charlie Vincent, one of Utah's running backs, they put him as a Wildcat QB. They motioned Rising out. I mean, my gosh, watching him run, I was like, why is he in the game? What are we doing? So a healthy Cam Rising gives this team its best chance to win, I believe. But if that's how Cam Rising is going to look, or if at any point he gets hurt, then you have to play Isaac Wilson, because Isaac Wilson can push the ball down the field. So I think that, once again, Cam Rising's healthy, he's the guy. But if he's hurt, or if he looks like that and like next week or in practice this week, you can't put him out there, because he does not give you a better chance to win the game than Isaac Wilson does. That was the worst game Cam Rising's ever played. And that doesn't fall on Cam, actually, chiefly to me. That falls on the coaches who left him in the game. Yes, Cam was the one who was probably like, I'm staying in, I got this, I'm fine. That's what every competitor is going to do. That's where the coaches have to come in and say, what's best for our team right now? And how about the athlete as well still? I know people are frustrated with the whole Cam situation, him not playing. But the matter of the fact is, he got hurt. He's not as good. You got to take him out of the game. And that's what Utah refused to do. And that's part of one of the biggest reasons they lost the game, is because they stuck with Cam Rising. Who knows if Isaac would have came in and made those throws, but based on what we'd seen from Isaac, he would have been better than Cam Rising in that game, I firmly believe.
Can you explain to me why the last year and a half, Utah has been royally respectful of Cam Rising's health? We'll put it that way. And kept him off the field out of an abundance of caution in multiple scenarios, and then allowed that to happen on Saturday?
I don't know. That's a great point. When you put into perspective the history and what is going on over that time, why was Saturday the time? And was it the frustration? Was it the fact that...
And I want to save you there, because that's a tough question to answer. Like, you can't answer for Utah's training staff or Kyle Whittingham, but I mean, this goes back to the YouTube comment I got 2 weeks ago that said, if Utah was playing Georgia or Alabama, Cam Rising would obviously play. That was the Arizona week. That wasn't the case. We all said that's complete BS. There's no way he would have played the second half against Arizona if that was. And then he comes out in this game, and that's what it felt like. It felt like we're in a must-win scenario to stay alive in the Big 12 championship race. Got to leave him out there, which is so antithetical to what Utah has done for a year and a half.
You're 1,000% right. I don't understand why they left him in the game. I just guess they felt like he would take care of the ball better. But then once he starts to turn it over, doesn't that go out the window? Doesn't his lack of mobility play into it? I mean, Cam Rising does a really good job navigating the pocket normally. One time he literally ran into a sack in the first half. It was just like, he's not confident because he's not healthy. And even before he got hurt, he had some missed throws. So, like, if he would have played, he still would have been rusty. But I got to believe they left him in just because it's Cam. He makes winning plays. He'll find a way. We're still in the game. I guess we feel like he can do it. But even his completions downfield, he had one throw to Dorian Singer. It was grossly underthrown, and then Singer just made a great play on the ball. So I don't understand why Utah stuck with him. I really don't. And Drake, I want to get your answer on the question you posed back to earlier. I said, if Cam's healthy, I'm still playing him. But if the version we saw on Saturday is the Cam we're going to get, I'm doing Isaac Wilson. Would you bench Cam Rising for the season, or would you continue to trot him out there?
I think at some point we have a legitimate conversation.
Yes.
About medical. I mean, we see players medically retire all the time. You look at even BYU and Ben Bywater had, in the offseason, like, look, from the standpoint of, let's weigh our risk here when it comes to your physical health for the rest of your life. Cam Rising is putting an absolute beating on his body just to not play college football, because every time he goes back out there to play, he doesn't. And while I understand from Brant Keithy and company, all hey money parks to hey let's make this the year. Like we got so much of the crew that could have been from 2023 back. We have dudes from 2022 who were playmakers and game changers that are all healthy and here to win it in 2024. I know that was the plan, but from an injury standpoint, where Cam Rising sits, it's not is he Utah's quarterback? It's is football the right move for Cam Rising moving forward? A legitimate question based on his injury history. And man, JT, I just can't. I keep going back to this, and I want to pose it again. We've talked about he got thrown into a water cooler. That's a fluke deal. This week a guy rolls over his ankle. It's like, okay, it feels like at some point we see so many injuries in this program now over the course of year. The sample size is getting larger and larger. Are we not eating right? We're not stretching pregame? Is our offseason weight program wrong? I mean, or is it just this many flukes that keep piling up?
Drake, you posed that to me a couple weeks ago, and I wasn't ready to go there, but I will say there's something. It's something they got to change. I mean, for Karene Reed is out. Like some of these injuries just happen, right? But now Karene Reed is missing extended time. He was one of the best linebackers in the country coming into the season, according to PFF. I still believe Connor O'Toole was his team's best pass rusher, and through the first few weeks, he was high on the sack. He was second in the Big 12 in sacks. Actually, he hasn't played a game in a long time now. And then Keanu Tanavasa, your other really good D tackle next to Junior Tafuna, is also out. So injuries happen in games as well. But then like guys like Tanavasa, I don't remember him ever getting hurt. Like where did that pop up at? Are we practicing too hard? And are we conditioning these guys well enough for the season? Last year it was weird because of how many Utah had, but 2 years there's a little bit of a trend. Utah has to change something. I have a hard time believing that for the second straight year in a row, it's all fluke injuries and it has nothing to do with the way they're training and things of that nature. When you are losing and when players aren't on the field, you have to reevaluate everything. And I do believe that includes the way that Utah practices with their athletes as well as the things they do over the offseason, because you cannot have these many key players keep missing games. I don't know if Utah was fully healthy, if they for sure are undefeated right now, but I feel a heck of a lot better about their chances to be, because I know the types of players that they are missing. And they're just down too many guys already. It feels like where it to not be something that they should look at internally, because it continues to happen. And if you want to be where Utah hopes to be in the college football playoff at some point as a program, it can't happen. So something's got to change, Drake. You're right.
Coming up, NIL is making your football team bad. This is Locked On Big 12 and a Locked On Utes crossover, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. I went to FanDuel this weekend and said, FanDuel, I'm a Cowboys fan. But I'm not a very good Cowboys fan, because I think the Lions are going to win this game and cover the 3 points. And I went to FanDuel and put some money on it. And guess what? Oh, Drake, you're a Cowboys fan. You should never bet against your team. I won money. I have to pay rent. So I'm going to do that with the money that I got on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. When you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check the latest stats and do live bets as well. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. FanDuel.com. $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That is FanDuel.com. It's America's #1 sportsbook. Visit FanDuel. Do it today.